Hello, my name is Steve Clein, and I'm this month's featured collector. I'm from West Virginia, born and raised, married to my beautiful wife for 10 years. We have no kids. I have 2 dogs and a horse. And besides collecting comics and statues, I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so let's go Steelers. Is there any certain property that got me into statue collecting? I feel like my story is pretty similar to a lot of people my age in the fact that I collected comics when I was younger. I loved to read comics at a younger age. I remember sitting down and having my parents have to plan their Saturday mornings around me and my older brother, watching the X-Men animated series. I remember watching the Spider-Man cartoons, Batman, the animated series. And eventually, as I got older, I just kind of fell out of favor with reading and collecting comics. Even though I was no longer reading, I still was attached to the media aspect of comics. I remember getting really excited when the first X-Men movie came out, when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies came out. So it was always near and dear to my heart. And when I got a little bit older, I happened to come across an Age of Apocalypse trade paperback. I remember picking it up. I was glued to it, read it. It brought back so many different memories, childhood memories. And then all those emotions, all those feelings started, all those good times started running back. And I immediately ran out, started picking up stuff that I had when I was a kid. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I was hooked again. And I found out once you got a little bit older and you made a little bit more money, you could afford the really expensive stuff. So I kind of got into collecting first appearance comic books. I collect CGC graded books, 7.0 or above. I had started a smaller Spider-Man collection, and then I also have a pretty sizable Batman collection. So along with the comic books, and I was attending all these different comic book shows and going to all these new comic book stores, I started noticing the collectible aspect of comics, and I thought maybe that would be a cool way to kind of show off my collection a little bit more, to put in a statue right beside my comics. So I picked up the Kotobukiya Art FX Batman statue with the black cape, brought it home. I thought it was just a really cool accent to the whole comic collection that I had. So from that point, I don't remember what the first one was, but I fell in love with the Batman Black and White series statue line. Just so many different variations of Batman, so many different comic book artist interpretations. And that's why I really love that line, because of the uniqueness of it. So I spent a whole summer collecting the entire first edition of that line. I also started getting some DC collectible, DC Direct old diorama pieces, Batman vs. Killer Croc, Batman and Superman DKR edition, Batman and Catwoman Hush Kiss statue. So things were growing, things were changing a little bit, and I eventually found my way to Sideshow. I had ordered a Poison Ivy PF statue. And at that point, no matter how many times you saw pictures, how many videos you saw, none of this really does justice for these 1/4 scale and bigger statues until you actually see them in hand, see the size of them, see the detail in them. As soon as I got her, I knew that this is where I wanted my collection to go. This is the road I wanted to take. So I went back, picked up some of the older statues, Joker PF statue. I became more educated in collecting statues, learning what an exclusive was, learning how to go about getting that, taking notice of different companies and what they were making. So I started to notice the Transformer line for Problem One Studios. And even though it was something that I was never going to collect, I just thought, man, it's a lot of detail, a lot of cool looking statues. They're doing really good work with that. So we were getting closer to the launch of Batman Arkham Knight video game. The hype was starting to grow, and then I noticed that Problem One Studios had announced a statue line centered around Arkham Knight. They showcased their Batman Arkham Knight statue. Ordered that immediately. waited for it to come in, and then as soon as that came in, I knew I wanted to be a 1/3 scale statue collector. Just the massive presence of those statues, the detail in them, the switch out parts that they offered. So I bid in heavily into Problem One Studios Arkham line. Had several of those, and I have a couple more to come. So to bring the whole thing back, to say what would be the one property that got me into statue collecting, I would have to say it would be Batman. A favorite piece in my collection, I'd hate to put one above the rest, but I'm going to do it. It would have to be the Arkham Origins Deathstroke Problem One Studio statue. Just the detail in that statue, the battle damage in the armor, the paint apps in it, the presence that statue has, the different switch outs, him carrying the rifle, him holding Batman's cowl, the different portraits. I just think that statue offers a lot. It's something that as soon as someone walks in the room, they notice. So if I had to have one statue on display for my collection, it would definitely be that one. But I've also got Mr. Freeze from Problem One Studios coming. I anticipate that kind of taking the #1 spot. But until you really get something in hand, you see it and you live with it for a little bit, you never really know. So I don't want to make that kind of quick judgment right now. But I'm anticipating that piece a lot, we'll say. If I could have any statue, regardless of money, what would I like? If I had a bigger collecting area, space, if I had some more room, I would buy in heavily to the XM Studios Spider-Man line. I think the amount of attention and detail that they have shown to some B and C list characters like Mysterio, Scorpion, Sandman, Vulture, those statues are just awesome to look at from the pictures and videos that I've seen. I would love to have an entire collection of that line, and it's something that I may look into the future if my area, if my collecting space ever changes, and I can allow for more pieces to come in. That's something I would love to get into. Is there a statue that I would love to see made besides without no matter what company made it? I really like unique pieces. I like things that stand out. Things like the Red Sun Batman statue is just a really different take on Batman. I think anybody that comes into my room can notice a Batfleck statue, can notice 89 Batman or the old comic version, Sideshow Batman statue. It's just different things like the Red Sun Batman statue that grabs people's attention, that starts a conversation. They want to know, when did he ever wear that suit? What story is that from? I've never seen Batman like that. So I think something maybe in 1/4 scale, like Gotham by Gaslight, that'd be a really cool piece, really different from everything else that I have. I think a Green Lantern Batman would offer a lot of cool switch out parts you could do for that. I think that would also, it would have a lot of color in that statue. I think it would pop a lot. So I think that would be an attention grabber. If you'd have asked me about a year and a half ago, I would have told you Problem One Studio, or I would have told you Flashpoint Batman. But Problem One Studios is doing one in 1/3 scale. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the costume design. I love the red accent, holding the guns, the 5 o'clock shadow. I think that's a really cool, unique piece that a lot of people are going to start asking questions about. So I'm really looking forward to that piece. Okay, so before we start the tour, I just wanted to showcase a sign on the entrance of the room. I'm sure we have all felt this way, but I got this sign made not to protect my collection. I got this sign made to protect anybody that enters. I'm sure that you do not want the bill for anything that you touch and accidentally break. So I don't do this for my protection. I do this for your protection. So we'll go ahead and start the tour. Enter the room. Along the back wall here, we have some of the Problem One Studios Arkham Knight statue line. I'm sure you guys have all seen these statues before. Batman Arkham Knight along with the bust. The Two-Face, Harley Quinn, Arkham Knight, the DKR statue, and up top I collect some of the art prints from Sideshow to match their 1/4 scale statues. I have Zatanna, Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Batgirl. I have a couple different art prints that I like to pick up. I think they make for a clean display. In the corner here, we have the Red Sun Batman, along with the '89 Batman and Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. I have some of my trades and hardbacks on display as well. Over here we have another Prime One Studios display, the Deathstroke and Batman Noel statues. Thought about adding some fake snow underneath the base and on top of the bases to kind of give this area a little bit more of a scene. Up top here we have some of the sideshow statues, the Arkham Asylum, Batman and Joker, along with the BVS Batfleck statues, the regular suit and armored edition, along with the replica Batarang. And here I'll showcase some of the Batman black and white statues that I have. I believe there's 89 first editions total in this line. I have 84 with 5 yet to be released. I'll pick those up as soon as they are released. The statue line I'll range all the way from the classic interpretations of Batman and his rogues all the way down to some really weird designs, as noted. But I really like this display. It's something that, despite collecting bigger statues now, this is something that I still want to continue. Up top here, I don't have them spaced out as well, but some of the DC Collectibles Arkham statue series that they did in 1/6 scale, I have the complete line of it. And even though this is a statue collecting video, I still want to showcase the comics. They're the heartbeat of everything that we do and collect as far as Batman goes. So it's a big part of my collection, so I just wanted to take the time to showcase it a little bit. All first appearances, Silver Age first appearances, CGC graded 7.0 or above for all these books. And up top here, just the way the books were spaced out, I had a little bit of dead space, so I picked up some of these busts from DC Collectibles to kind of fill that area. I think it fits pretty nicely. Some more art prints. This is the Da Vinci Batman piece, signed by Bob Kane. Some Scott Blair original art. I had a custom Gotham City Sirens frame built just for these, to showcase these books. Some more art prints. Here we have the Sideshow tongue lashing print. This one's always kind of bothered me a little bit that they didn't have this flipped and have Catwoman laying on top of Batman. So I've always meant to change the hanging hardware to kind of reflect that. So that's something I still want to do. And then some more art prints. I have some etched glass that I picked up last year from C.J. Drayden. And here we have some of the diorama pieces I was talking about, along with some sideshow pieces, Joker and Batman from the Nolan Batman series. I really like this piece, Red Rain statue done by Mondo. I think it came out really nice. And then we drop down, have a couple additional sideshow pieces, the classic comic interpretations in their 1/4 line. I got these portrait holders from Vincent Vale Customs. That way I could keep the switch out parts on display. Added some little fake diamonds on the Catwoman's display just to kind of give it a little bit more of life, along with some fake vines along Ivy. Down below, some more statues, the Huntress, Catwoman, the blue variant Batman, Killer Croc, Bane, and the green Poison Ivy. And what really started it all, there's the Batman Code of Akia piece that I was talking about, the one that kind of got me into statue collecting. So there's my little there's my Batman collection, everything I have on display. I want to thank Chris for allowing me to have this video and to showcase my collection. I'm active on Instagram. If you guys want to see some more of my shenanigans, you can follow me at the Bataholic. But with that said, I want to thank the Batman statue collector, and as always, he'll see you in the Batcave.